Welcome to Astronomy Spotlight. This month offers both the opposition of Mars and a blue moon. More on the blue moon later in the show. But let's turn our attention to the red planet. A Mars opposition occurs when the red planet is directly opposite the Sun in the sky as seen from the Earth. The Sun is at its greatest distance below the horizon at midnight, so at this time Mars will be at its highest. You can think of it sort of like the full moon. The full moon rises at sunset and sets at sunrise, and is at its highest point in the sky overhead at midnight. Unlike the full moon, however, the best time to look at Mars with a telescope is when it is directly opposite the Sun in the sky. When Mars reaches opposition, it is also at its closest point to the Earth, at least within a week or so. Astronomers call this perigee. This makes Mars appear at its largest and brightest in the sky. The time of Mars opposition and perigee is the best time to observe it, being Earth's neighbor, relatively speaking, and because it is the planet that varies the most in distance from the Earth. So its apparent size through a telescope and its brightness can vary greatly between oppositions. Mars' distance from the Earth varies between about 0.36 astronomical units and 2.68 astronomical units. An astronomical unit is equal to about 93 million miles. Why choose a seemingly random number for one astronomical unit? Because it is also the distance from the Earth to the Sun, 93 million miles. So 1 AU equals one distance from the Earth to the Sun. In other words, Mars can be as close to the Earth as about 33.4 million miles, and can be as far from the Earth as 249 million miles. At the 2020 opposition, Mars will be at a distance of 0.42 astronomical units, or about 38.6 million miles. And it will shine at a magnitude of -2.6. If you watched last month's show, you will remember that the lower the magnitude number, the brighter the object is. Magnitude -2.6 is very bright, even brighter than Jupiter and all of the stars in the night sky on October 13th. It will be located in the constellation of Pisces the Fishes, not one of the brightest constellations in the sky. Go out just after sunset and you will see the planet named for the Roman god of war low in the east. Mars will be in the southeast at about 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and by 1 a.m. it will be in the south. It will finally set around sunrise in the western sky. Its color will also be very distinctive around this time. Close to opposition, Mars usually appears bright orange to orangish red and is unmistakable in the sky. Mars will stay bright in the night sky for several more weeks, but after October 13th, Mars will very slowly begin to dim. And it will get dimmer and dimmer. So please go out and see it between roughly October 6th, when Mars is at perigee, and October 13th at opposition. You will not be disappointed, I guarantee it. One more thing worth noting in October, which I mentioned at the very top of the show, occurs at the very end of the month. This month, we actually have 2 full moons, and the second full moon of the month is called a blue moon. Not because of its color, of course, but because it is so rare to have 2 full moons in the night sky during one month. So, this also happens on Halloween evening. So, October 31st, you will have a full moon, and also Speaking of Halloween night, daylight savings time ends. Technically Sunday morning, but you'll want to set your clocks back 1 hour as daylight savings time comes to an end. If you're in the Hastings area on the evening of October 13th, the museum will have two 12-inch telescopes out to observe the opposition of Mars, weather permitting, of course, with a cloudy night makeup date the following night, but only if the event on the 13th is canceled. Check out our social media or call the museum for specific times, and also to make sure the observing session will take place. Of course, social distancing and the wearing of masks will be required to look through the telescope. So join me again next month for another episode of Astronomy Spotlight. Thank you for watching.